Hello there, my crochet queens to be. So I just wanted to go through what you will need when you're starting out on your crochet journey or starting a new project. Now, it's not much really. I know it probably can be a little bit overwhelming, but all you really need is a hook, a pair of scissors, and some wool. So I'm going to start out with the hooks. So this one here has always been my favorite, my little trusty 5.25. Now, the 5.25 is the size of the end of the hook there. I don't know why this one's been my favorite. I don't know if it's the thickness of the handle. I think it's just the one that I probably had the most success with at the beginning when I started out. So then that's what I kept using for all of these different projects that I've done. This one here is a little bit smaller, so you can see in comparison to this size here, this is a 4.25, and I recently used this for my bauble project because I wanted to do some smaller, more intricate stitches in there. Yeah, so that one came in handy for that. And then I also have this Big Mama, which is a size 7, so again you can see the thickness of it. I used this recently when I was doing this granny square and wanted my stitches to be a little bit thicker and longer there as well. You can buy packs, crochet starter packs. I've seen those around Spotlight, etc., where you have different size hooks and equipment to help you learn how to crochet. So that might be handy. Now the other thing that I have here is a needle, so you can see it's a bit larger than your regular needle that you sew a button on with, and that's because I've used that needle there when I've sewed together some projects. So you can see here I've stitched together granny squares in this cardigan that I made, so I used it to stitch those together, but you can also crochet those together as well, which we will go through one day. And I also used the needle to stitch these baubles together, like the two circles together for the bauble. And then these little bad boys here, so these are called stitch markers. To be honest, I've only used these a few times. So I used those when I made a little baby cardigan, and I put them at the top just to mark out where the neck or the shoulders were. But before I had those, I used to use these little pegs because that's just actually what I had in my cupboard, and I thought, well, why not use them? And I would just mark out where I needed to increase or decrease in my projects. All right, let's get on to wool. So, now I absolutely love this wool. This is one of my favorite brands. This is Abbey Road. This is one that you can get from Spotlight. So normally when I'm picking my wool, I have to be honest, I go on feel. I go on what I'm making. This is 100% merino. This is going to be really warm and really thick. I actually haven't used this one. I think I just bought it because I was like, oh, does this work in the color for the, for a daisy that I was making. So for the last project that I made, the vest, the daisy vest, I used this one here because it's a mixture half and half of merino wool and acrylic. And you can also get other brands. I've used this one a bit as well in other projects as well. And then again, this one here, I don't know what I'm going to use this one for, but it's a full mixture there, and you can see it's a bit fluffy. It feels nice and soft. But today I just bought this one. So this is an acrylic, 100% acrylic. And to be honest, I do use a fair bit of 100% acrylic. And that's because it's machine washable. And if you've got something that you're making like a baby blanket, then you can, wash it and it won't shrink. So the other thing to note is that this is an 8-ply. So there are different thicknesses of your wool. This is an 8-ply. This is probably a 10. And my biggest tip would be to go on, just pick the same size for all the elements of your project. The other hot tip that I have is looking at the lot number when you buy them. If you're making a big project, then like say for example a big blanket, you want to make sure you get the same lot number for whatever project you're doing, because otherwise they can just vary in their colors and then you could end up with a blanket that looks different in different patches. All right, well, they're my hot tips to start with.